Hey guys, Deadbot93 here, back again, and tonight I'm actually doing a contest entry into Jackrippzz Bloody contest. If you don't know who Jackrippzz is, I will leave a link down below to his channel. Check this guy out, he's really awesome, has a great channel, does a lot of good movie reviews and recommendations and things like that, updates. And he is actually doing this contest because he had just reached over 100 subscribers in a matter of just a few days. And first off, Cody, I just want to say I don't even see how you even did it. I mean, I've been on YouTube for over a year now, and I haven't even got to 100 subscribers yet. So, that's awesome. Congrats on that, man. I think it's well deserved, and I think you deserve a lot more. But anyway, he is doing this contest, and he basically asked us 5 questions for his contest. I have the questions right down here on my monitor. My computer monitor right here, so I can read them off. It was really hard for me to remember. But I'm going to go ahead and get started. The first question he asks is, if some random new horror fan who was like unfamiliar with like lower budget films or low budget movies, and he was looking for something else that wasn't a true classic film, or a movie that a lot of people don't talk that much about, what movie would you recommend to him? And this was kind of hard because, I thought a bit about different low-budget films. Like at first, I thought, how about The Sky Has Fallen, which, as you know, I did a review for a while back. But then I thought, I've talked about that movie enough, and I think a lot of people are probably starting to hear about it by now. So, and then I thought, well, how about Reanimator? But then I thought, even a newer horror fan probably still knows about Reanimator because even though it's not like a huge mainstream film, it's still a classic and it's still an amazing movie. So I'm pretty sure that a newer horror fan would have heard about it. So instead, the movie that I chose was C.H.U.D. Right there, and I chose this movie because this is truly a great, awesome movie. I think the special effects in this movie are really amazing. The cannibalistic humanoid underground dwellers, they look great in this movie, and this is definitely one that I know people talk about this, but I'm pretty sure that for someone who's like new to the horror genre, probably wouldn't hear about this right away. They'd probably hear about, like I said, Reanimator or something else like that. So this is definitely a movie that I chose to put. Here's the inside. There's the DVD and then the insert, which one thing that's cool is that my DVD actually came with 2 inserts, which I thought was really neat. This is the out of print Anchor Bay release. I think it's out of print. But yeah, like if I wanted to choose a film that not only was like a really good horror film, but was also cheesy, low budget, and kind of sci-fi-ish, I guess you could say, this is one that I would definitely recommend to anybody who's new to the horror genre. Plus, it also has Daniel Stern in it, which I'm a big fan of Daniel Stern ever since I saw him in one of my favorite childhood movies of all time, Home Alone. He was in that one, so just having him in it is sort of like a bonus for me. So there you go. The next question he has is, if you were making a slasher movie and had full creative control over it, what would your if you were having a slasher story or anything like that, and if you had creative control over it, who would your slasher be, what would he look like, and what would he do? And when I heard this question, it really brought me back when I was a little kid in elementary school, where I would used to write nothing but horror stories and things like that. And I'd write stories about people killing people and stuff like that, and then I'd draw pictures of like blood and guts and people being stabbed and stuff, and it would always freak my teachers out a lot, and they even called my parents and thought, we think there's something wrong with Cody. And then I actually got a chance to talk to my guidance counselor, and he ended up saying, well, Cody's a really intelligent guy. He went over and told the teachers not to worry about me, so it worked out for it in the end. But and I would write like random stuff. Like the first time I saw the movie Jaws, which I was pretty young when I saw it, I was about like 8 or 9, I think, because I saw a lot of movies when I was like 8. And I would write, a story about sharks, but I never wrote any stories about a slasher, about somebody going around stabbing somebody with a knife or something. or anything like that. So when I first heard the question, I thought about it for a minute, and I thought, in my opinion, the best slasher movies, or the best serial killers, are people that you wouldn't expect to be serial killers, you know? Like, the most normal person that you'd see, maybe a person walking down the street, you know, or like you see somebody walking down and you say hi to them, and you know, it's those kind of people that you would never expect to be a serial killer. That's what I want my story to be about. Because I remember reading about, or hearing about a story of Ed Gein, the serial killer, who, as you know, is the guy who inspired like Leatherface from Texas Chainsaw Massacre, or Norman Bates from Psycho, or something like that. Just a story about a man that everybody knows, everybody knew, like in the town, that he seemed like a nice, you know, normal guy, and turns out to be a psychopath. That's the kind of person that I want to be like. I want to be, or like Halloween Michael Myers, of how that he was just a normal person. He just had like serious issues, and then he ended up being a psychopath. So that's who I wanted to talk about. So my story would probably be about a guy who maybe lives in a small town that everybody knows. Maybe he lives alone in a house somewhere with, you know, just alone, and everybody knows him. You know, he goes to the grocery store every day, says hi to the cashier, and you know, just says, and it's just such a nice, peaceful guy. Where while when he goes home, he has people locked down in his basement, and he's torturing them or something like that. I know it's not really a slasher one, but I'll have him go around and stab him with a knife or something. But you know, it's people like that that always get to me. Where you're watching a movie like, you know, Halloween or Psycho, and you're looking at it and you're like, wow, that could really happen. That's crazy. Those are the movies that really get to me. Or movies that, you know, are not supernatural, just a normal guy turning out to be a psychopath. So that's what my slasher story would be about. The third thing is that name a director that is known for a certain movie, but has directed another movie that you like better. And when I was first thinking about this, I wanted to think about, you know, a movie, like what is one big movie that I could think about, and then find a movie that he's done that's not as big that I would like more. And I ended up coming up with Joe Dante, who, as you guys know, directed The Howling. And the movie that I chose from him is Gremlins. And the reason why I chose Gremlins is because this was one of my favorite childhood movies of all time. I remember watching this movie over and over again, and I love, you know, Gizmo, and I love the, you know, Stripe and all the other Gremlins. It was like that was probably like my first ever, I guess you could say, scary movie, even though it's not really a horror film. It's more of a kid-friendly movie. But that was one movie that I really love, and it's really great. I have the VHS somewhere. I've had it for years, you know, for as long as I can remember, but I can't find it anywhere. I don't know why. I better find it. I need to find it, because I've had the VHS for so long. But I'll just pick it up on DVD sometime. But yeah, I would definitely say Joseph Dante's Gremlins, because that is definitely one of my favorite films. Nothing against The Howling. I love the movie The Howling, but you know, Gremlins has always been a movie that's been near and dear to my heart, because of, you know, how I used to watch it forever. And it was also the first movie that I saw Corey Feldman in, because I actually saw Gremlins before I saw The Goonies. So, you know, it also introduced me to him, and I became a fan of him and, you know, his films. So, yeah, Gremlins is definitely one. The fourth one is name one franchise or movie that you wish would never have been made. If I had to pick one franchise, it'd be a newer one. I'd definitely have to say Paranormal Activity. And it's not that I don't like Paranormal Activity. I actually did enjoy it for what the movie was. But now that they're just doing it over and over, so many sequels, and now that, you know, it's just, the series relies on jump scares is the problem. When sometimes when you watch a movie, for some people, when they go to a movie theater and they hear a loud noise and they jump, they immediately assume that they're scared. You're not scared, you're just startled, and there's a difference. So they think, oh man, I'm jumped, this movie's terrifying. And like I said, not that I don't have a big problem with Paranormal Activity. Can't talk today. You know, because I thought it was good for the story. I thought it brought a new idea to the whole video camera found footage thing, even though I know that there are films after that like Cannibal Holocaust or the Blair Witch Project, which Blair Witch Project is probably my favorite of all the found footage films, but next to Cannibal Holocaust, of course. But I would definitely say Paranormal Activity. I'm so sick of those movies. I'm so sick of found footage films, unless they're done in a creative way, like VHS or something like that, then that's good. But movies like what was that? What was one movie that I saw that I thought was Quarantine? I say I was not a huge fan of that movie. I thought it was okay. The Last Exorcism I liked up until the end. I liked most of that movie, but I did not like up until the end. So I'd have to say Paranormal Activity, simply because it now starts off the whole found footage thing, and now everybody thinks that found footage is like the new big thing, which I really hope it's not. I really hope they stop with the whole found footage thing, honestly. I'm excited about VHS though, but other than that, I really wish Paranormal Activity never really did happen. And the last movie is, what is one movie that you love so much that every time you watch it, you wish you could go back and rewatch it as if you're watching it for the first time, or go back and do it? And there's so many films that I have thought about, like Phantasm. I love that movie to death, and I remember the first time I watched it, I was amazed by how original it was, or something like that. A Reanimator, another great one, or anything like that. But the movie that I decided to choose was Dario Argento's Suspiria. And the reason why I chose this one was because this was the first Italian horror film that I saw, and this is the movie that introduced me to Dario Argento. And I remember when I was watching it, and the first time that I watched it, I was amazed by the lighting in the film. I remember I talked about it before, but there's one scene where there's a girl talking, and on her face there's a light shine on her face that's red, and in the background there's a light going behind her that's blue. Dario Argento is the master of combining beautiful things and just graphic and gory things, and so that was it. Plus the music is amazing. And I remember the first time I saw this, I was the first time I watched this movie, I was yep, this is definitely going to be one of my favorite ones. And it really is. So Suspiria is one that I decided to pick. There you go. So that is my 5 questions that I decided to pick. 5 questions that he decided to ask for. And the last thing he asked for us to do was do a shout-out video to a subscriber that doesn't have enough subscribers and I think deserves more. That I think deserves more. And if I had to pick, it would be Horror Boy 101. And if I'm saying this, I know it's Horror Boy 101. I think it's 101. I'm not 100% sure, but I will leave a link down below to his channel. He's a young collector, and he really he does some pretty good videos and stuff like that. But I remember the first video that he did. He had a really rare Friday the 13th Part 7 VHS tape, and he was really good. He did a whole series on the Wrong Turn movies and things like that. So go check him out if you haven't heard about him. Like I said, I will leave a link down to his channel and Jackrippzz channel. Because I think Horror Boy deserves more recognition. He was one of the first people I subscribed to, so yeah, I definitely would put him up there. So anyway, Cody, I hope that was good enough for you, bro. I really love your channel. I hope this is good. You have a lot of amazing prizes putting out, and I just can't wait, to see your next video and things like that. And I know I haven't really talked to you, Cody, that much, but just message me on Facebook sometime, and we can actually start talking. Because I know you tried before, but I got with school and things like that, I've gotten really busy. But just thanks a lot. And like I said, once more, congrats to over 100 subscribers. That's awesome. I can't talk today. Yeah, I hate Mondays. But over 100 subscribers, that's like I said, awesome. So, and I think you really deserve more. So, yeah. And so anyway, that was my contest entry to Jackrippzz Bloody Contest. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you guys later.